can't wait for April 30th. Yeah.
What's happening on April 30th?
Well, on April 30th, we're having a luncheon with American and Vietnamese veterans. And I'm excited because after this horrifying war, they finally get to meet up with each other. And it's just really big because April 30th was the day when the Vietnamese War ended and everybody was able to go to America. And like everything was peaceful.
So it's a big celebration.
Yeah.
40 years to the day.
Just happiness. Yeah. And I think when I get there, they might like maybe be a little bit awkward at first because you know it's kind of weird. Like you were fighting alongside with these people, but then maybe later on they'll like, you know, they're like, oh hi, I'm something and like that, and they might like loosen up a little more.
This is our 6th grade journal. And we had to write down at the start of the year 10 things we were grateful for. We didn't know about the gratitude project yet, but our teacher presented us with this quote. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow, by Melody Beatty.
We didn't really think much about this. We probably thought it was like a Thanksgiving thing, kind of like that. Like, well, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, but that's what I thought. I'm not sure what other kids thought. Probably that's what they thought.
When Mrs. Nicolo introduced us to the gratitude project, she's like, oh, we're gonna have to interview your parents. Yeah. She says we're gonna have to draw, we're gonna have to write like narratives, and we're gonna have to write poems and thank you notes and stuff like that.
So Ms. Del Carlo wrote these letters to give to our parents or our family members for them to answer.
One experience that I learned about from my grandpa that I didn't know was that he went to prison for about 5 years, and that was like a big like wake-up call because like my mom never told me that, and he usually never talked about it.
They escaped and became refugees and traveled to America, and it took them roughly about 2 years. And during that 2 years, they suffered from food shortages, thirst, and diseases. When people started dying off, my dad was about to give up hope, but after keeping himself together a little while longer, he eventually made it to America.
I interviewed my grandpa, who was one of the veterans. He became a prisoner of war after the North won. In the prison, he always tried to stand up for himself, and he also tried to stand up for all the other prisoners.
Dạ, chào ông ngoại, chào cô hai. Ông ngoại có khỏe không? Ông ngoại khỏe.
My grandpa, he was higher up in like the food chain. He was a leader in the Navy, and so they kept him there longer and they tortured him more. And every day, well not every day, when my grandma could come, she would always plan everything out and buy the food and walk miles there, spend time with my grandpa.
My grandpa was drafted into war when he was 19 with my grandma, and then when my dad was born, he was already in the prison of war for 15 years. And when he came out, he got to go on boat to America, and he had struggles like finding money and home to live in. So they had to walk around and find jobs until they had a specific shelter so they can live and survive.
To escape the treacherous war, he came to the US by boat, and during that travel, a lot of people died, like they drowned, or because of diseases or illness, or because of hunger. And he's always telling me that like when I was your age, then like I know how to do this stuff, and you should be able to know how to do it too. And I agree with him because our generation, we don't have as much experience as the elders.
Gratitude to me is honoring and respecting my elders and the people that fought in the war. In the past 4 weeks, we had 4 people that all fought for the South, and they've told me many stories that I didn't know. And I'm glad because I know more about the past before I was born, and I was born in Vietnam.
So Ms. Del Carlo told us to write questions that we use for the interview for the Vietnamese veterans and the US veterans.
So here I am, sleeping in my barracks at 3 o'clock in the morning. Lights come on, and they come out and they took us outside and lined us up and read some names off, of which mine was one of them. They said, "You guys are going to Vietnam, and you're going tonight." So we kept thinking that this can't be true.
Most of the soldiers were probably old teenagers, 19, 20, maybe 21. So it was pretty devastating. I've never seen anything like that before. I had just come from California, from a high school, growing up like all of you are, going to school and playing sports and having fun, and then all of a sudden you're in a battlefield. So it was pretty emotional.
In his feelings, he doesn't want to go to war, but it's forced for him to go to war because the North want to take over the South. And he said it hurts him in his heart when he sees people die, people get hurt. He never want to carry a gun, never want to shoot anybody, but that's what he had to do, is to protect the land and protect for the kids. After combat, he said it's very sad because he doesn't look at on just his side, but he looks on both sides. His side and the enemy side. He said that a lot of people had casualties, died, and he knows that a lot of people either have their families, their wives at home, kids, and he says it's very, very, very sad.
These things were not only bad, but they were also good life lessons to spread to the next generations.
What I learned from my elders is I should value my life right now, because most of them, they were forced to the war, and I never know what could happen to me. That one day I could be sleeping in my bed, the next day I would have been on the hard ground, bombs and guns.
I learned from my elders that life is important and that it can end in just a second. So you should take your time and enjoy what life you have.
That we're lucky to live in a place where there's freedom and we have free education, because when we interviewed the veterans, they said most of the kids did not have education.
Well, it changes me as an individual because I get to see things differently than I did before I started participating in the Gratitude Project. Whenever I'm in this situation, I'm not going to complain anymore, where I'm like, all right, I'll deal with it, because I know this is nothing compared to what other people have faced during their times.
I changed because of the Gratitude Project, because now I actually see, if you could say, I see the world through different lenses, because I realized that every little bit of the world we can find gratitude there, and everybody who participated in the Gratitude Project taught me that.
When I was writing, I searched up quotes about war, and there's this quote that really stood out to me, and it stated, "Mankind must put an end to war before war puts an end to mankind," and it just really touched my heart, because war is going to drive humanity to extinction.
He wants you to remember or learn about your culture, because your grandpa, your grandma, your mom, your dad, or your uncles all been through it, and you need to learn, so you need to know, and you need to understand it. But Most of all, he wants you all to be friends and learn from each other. If you learn from the good stuff, but the bad stuff, we need to just forgive and forget and move on.